Welcome back to Retro Wednesday. It's Tiberium here. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about print material from the 1980s and 90s G.I. Joe. People say that print is dead, but I gotta say a lot of people love collecting this kind of stuff. Collecting cardbacks or figures that are carded and keeping all of the file cards. I'm telling you what I don't like about the fact that they made the file cards are cool, but there's one big, huge, glaring negative to file cards. And I'll talk about that. But I'm going to get into the Mailaway flyers. I'm going to get into some of these blueprints. And of course, my favorite is the cardbacks. Talk about this and more coming up. The first thing I want to get into is the Mailaway stuff, which I think is kind of cool. Attention Joes, and getting the right angle and light on this. This shows here you could get a Night Landing Fire Bat. If you didn't buy the Terror Drome, you can get Fire Bat, which was pretty cool, and the driver. And then you can get a Lamprey. So they offered drivers up separately with the Mailaways, which was nice. Not all of them, though. Just some of them. And then Jinx, and looking at the back price real quick, you're looking at, let's say without the flag points, the Fire Bat was $9 shipped. The Cobra Night Landing was $5. The Jinx was $4.50 and Lamprey was $4.50. Then next up we've got, this is Super Trooper. This is what the Super Troopers, a little comic that was on here. You get Super Trooper for free. Not available in any store. It was metallicized, silver plated, and you mailed it in for free, but I'm sure you had to send in some sort of coupon or something, but it's still pretty cool that you got your Super Trooper. There is the paperwork on that. And let me guess, this is another Super Trooper right here? No, this is, I guess you're getting a Mailaway for a couple of cool things in here. Let's see, pick your 3 best men Pocket Patrol pack, and the Patrol pack with Starduster, $4.50. $4 and, is it clearing up there? $4.50. That is crazy. This is shocking right here. Terror on the Tundra. But you get to see all of these. So you could send off for Serpentor. You could send off for the Fang. Is it Fang? Claw? Fang? We could send off for the Polar Bear. You could send off for this one here, the Cobra Wolf. You could send off for that one. But I was shocked. I saw a hovercraft in here. Look at that. The hovercraft. You could send off for that back in the day. And then mini vehicles. And you get to see all these figures in here. The Cobra Ninja Viper, which is a blue version. Mailaway. And the prices are astonishing. Which I guess you could say $33.70 for a hovercraft. I'm not sure if that's showing up on there, but it is right here. And everything else is kind of right in line with what you'd expect. And then $14.20 for the Cobra Patrol unit. Still, $33 was a lot of money back then for a hovercraft. But nowadays, that'd be a really good price. Then we've got, this is pretty much nothing. I don't know, some of this stuff is just shredded up and ripped up. It's not in the best shape. Most of it's in pretty good shape, though, so I'm pretty happy with them. Got most of this from my buddy Philip's collection. And this is one I remember seeing back in the day. But you got Slugger, Polar Bear, Wolverine, Skyhawk, $3, $1.75 for Manta, $5 for the Water Moccasin, $5 for the Fang. Hooded Cobra Commander's $1.75. His tank was $4. Wow. Well, they were blowing out old stock to just get rid of it. I think this is another one of that one. Another Super Trooper. And then we've got this one here, which is another cool one, which is similar to what we just looked at, but yet it's just bigger. And you've got $9 for the NPC, or APC. I said that wrong. NPC. You got all these in here, which is kind of cool. Oh, the parachute guy. Parachute pack. Soar like an eagle. Okay. I'm trying to read it with camera in the way. Let's see, how much is that parachute pack? Amphibious So let's get this to where the whole thing's on the screen. And parachute pack, $1.50. Those 2 flag points. Now I'm covering up any vital information, but this is my buddy. Had it filled out. It was all filled out. I wonder if he sent off for it, because it's filled out, but it appears not to have been sent off. But still pretty cool on this one here. And then we have this, which I'm not sure what this is. Just shows insignias. Anyway, there's the Mailaways. Let's move on. So I'm going to try to move a little bit quicker through this. This is the Wolverines. And the cool thing about this is these show all of the features and the assembly process for each one. Cobra Wolf. And as you can see, it's kind of the glue that is still left on a residue from one of the sticker sheets kind of discolored this drastically. But it is what it is. But block of my light. Still looks pretty cool. All the good stuff you can do with that. Tactical battle platform. And then there's this side. And then all of the features and assembly. The blueprints were basically the instructions. The Mirage motorcycle. Ginormous instructions as if they knew it was going to be a pain. I have half of mine to literally just glue all the parts on mine and just call it a day, because they just fall off. The thing falls apart. I mean, I've got it all put together correctly. And there's the proof. But it still falls apart. Come a chameleon swamp skier. It's a rigid, high-strength front skis. They're not as rigid and they're not as high-strength as they try to advertise. Because this is another thing that likes to fall apart really easy. The Mauler. Does it show anything about a microphone for the figure? I don't know. I don't see the microphone for the figure. Oh gosh, there's a lot to this. Mine's, I think, missing one antenna. I think I'm missing an antenna. I think that's it on mine. Cobra Assault System Pod and ASP. Aspirations for this to be a good vehicle, I guess. The Fang is a fully armored Negator gyrocopter. So, kind of cool stuff. Those are supposed to be unbroken, in case you didn't know. They were, at one point in time, not broken. Still in awe with the Owl Striker. I love it. It's one of my favorite vehicles. I don't think it's my favorite. I think Cobra actually wins a lot of the favorites when it comes to vehicles. And cool designs. I'm not sure if I already looked at one of these. APC, I thought we saw one of these. Maybe that was just, they're selling it. Vamp. I never was impressed. As a kid, I didn't like the Vamp. I thought it was just not the coolest vehicle. Because I had the AWE Strikers of what I need this for. But I joined it late, and I kind of retro-fitted my collection with some of these things. This one here is the Cobra Jetpack. Probably not the most popular thing out there in the world. Cobra Jetpack. Bivouac. Bivouac. People keep saying I keep saying it wrong, but there it is. There's a lot to this, actually. A lot of parts and pieces, and it's very rudimentary, to say the least. See, you could tell the more popular items, the instructions have been used and used and used. This is definitely some used up instructions here, versus all these other ones are minty crisp because nobody cared about them. But yeah, this Dragonfly, definitely one of the top vehicles. Shouldn't we get in our classified ones pretty soon? The Slugger self-propelled cannon. Oh, it's got a gun on top. Yep. That looks like the Slugger, alright. Here's the hydrofoil. All the good stuff going along with the hydrofoil. A lot of instructions. I gotta admit, the surveillance port was a really weird one. You gotta have all the ports, anchor stuff on it. It doesn't just stand on its own. It's really strange. Because you have to, if you have a broken peg here, thing's not gonna stand up. Hydro sled. You know, it's one of those weird things that you just don't ever hear anyone talk about, as if it's not very cool or something. The stun, it's ginormous instructions. In all reality, the instructions it's weird. A small vehicle will have huge instructions, and then you'll have... This is a pretty good sized vehicle, but I don't see the point of it being so big. The Snake. System neutralizer armed cloaking equipment. Do you actually cloak in this? I didn't know it cloaked. Just thought it was just a giant mech armor. Fang 2. So I got my Fang 2. This is come right from Philip's collection. Cool stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, he did have 2 chameleons. Another chameleon. I wonder if one was mailed out for. Buzz Boar. Yeah, it is. It's kind of a boring vehicle. That gets the job done. The MMS, the mobile missile system. People have been loving the classified one to go with their HISS tank, the Cobra version. So this is obviously going to be on the way. Watchtower instructions. So this is a simple, just a very simple add-on, kind of a playset piece, and it falls apart pretty easy too. The Notorious Serpentor Throne Chariot. Throne Chariot. But Air Chariot. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. What is this one? The Cobra Imp? The Imp. I actually have this displayed just because of the color scheme. I think it looks pretty cool. Polar Bear. This is cool. This is another cool one that if you get it put together properly and all the tabs are there, it can hold together okay. But there's a lot to this little vehicle. Let's get this Rattler on here. Rattler is one of my favorite vehicles, definitely. I mean, I actually like the Rattler more than the Sky Striker. I haven't backed my HasLab one yet, but I guess I need to. It's ending soon. Okay, the whale instructions are huge. They need to be. There's just a lot to it in the whale instructions. Wow. The blueprints to a whale. But yeah, there's quite a bit in here. It's hard to get it all on camera too. Just large instructions. Night Raven. It's kind of set up like a book, but a lot of stuff to the Night Raven too. That one, that's pretty impressive. Snowcat's really cool too. Really liking the Snowcat. Night Landing is just a small boat. It's just a boat, but it's cool. It was low price point stuff that everyone, well, most kids had. Claw, one of my favorite vehicles, is one of those that it was out before I was really into Joe, so I had to track it down at a garage sale, and it was one of the greatest days ever finding it at a garage sale, especially because I got it for just a few bucks. Another really big one is the Havoc, the heavy articulated vehicle ordnance carrier. There's a lot of stuff to go with the Havoc, which is kind of cool, and then just it's ginormous, just ginormous. It's an intriguing vehicle. I actually traded for my Havoc as a kid, and it was just one of those things that I just thought it was so interesting. Now for some brochures. I sort of had them in chronological order, but not anymore. So this is, you can see all the figures. Let's see if I can get that in there. This is going to be great for pictures and reference points and stuff. A lot of this print material, that's what it's good for. Lots of glare. The Terradrome. So this is what we looked at as kids. Kids? That's upside down. And then got the good guys on this side. So a lot like how they did their Transformer stuff. I mean, their marketing was very, very similar when it comes to the way they did the print material back in the 80s. And I would love to have the accessory pack #1 sealed. That seems to be the hard one to get. Not going to do it with all of them, but they fold up and then they have a nice cover on them. This one's sort of vertical. You get to see the... Let's get up closer here. We get to see the headquarters. Then we get to see all the smaller little playset type ones. There are the figures for up to that point for the most part, because everything got reissued in like a 1.5. There we go. And the bad guys are on the other side, I guess. We've got Zartan and all his stuff. That shows kind of the cover of what this can look like. People really go after those the gliders, I guess, what they're called. But yeah, we used to look at all this stuff back in the day. I've looked at it a lot. I'm not going to fold them all the way back up either. I'm going to leave them partially unfolded for storage. We got some aquatic stuff going up against, and more stuff we've seen in previous years. Bridge layer showed up, the tactical transport, the hydrofoil, the flag. I have to admit, I went my whole life and I didn't know about a flag until I was an adult. No one in my area had them, and I guess I didn't have this specific brochure that showed the flag. Or if I ever saw it, I would have thought it was like not really something you could buy. That it was just a background kind of thing. Like they do all those backgrounds that, you know, like, oh, I'll never be able to own that. That's a background piece. But pretty cool. We got to put Storm Shadow in the trouble bubble. Just try to zoom in a little bit on those figures there. Yeah, the fun part. Yeah, getting to see all these figures, vehicles, accessories, all that good stuff. G.I. Joe did get a little weird right here with these. The Mamba. But more Dreadnought stuff. Now, this was a good year. I love the Dreadnought stuff. Had a lot of it when I was a kid. Not all of it, though. And then getting into... So this is something else. I saw this as a kid, the Defiant. But I did not like the Battle Force 2000 stuff. And I have to admit that that probably was why I didn't care about the Defiant. I thought because I had gotten a couple of the Battle Force 2000 figures and was a little disappointed in them. I'm not going to lie, though, I'm happy to have them nowadays, but they're nice shot of these figures. Maybe I can use this if I get my thumb out of the way for future videos. Alright, this one is positioned sideways. It's a horizontal view of all that was going on this year. Really cool stuff. They did some cool stuff. Weird, they're kind of mixing the Joe and the Cobra together here. On this brochure, let's see what the back side shows. Tiger Force. A lot of good Tiger Force going on that year. And then you can't get all the figures in one shot, but I should go through this and look at each figure because just because I recently went through DJ the headset. That's actually a black wire. It's not white, but they show it with a white tube or something. So the prototypes are wrong. And we have the Bug. And some more stuff that we've seen in the past. Then we got some Iron Grenadiers. And that stuff is kind of cool. I would go for the vehicles, but they're just too big. I don't have the space for all that anymore. I've allocated it to other things, but there's the Battle Force 2000. What year? This feels like 88. It really does got that 88 vibe to it. Move on to Cardbacks and stuff. There's another one of these. This is kind of cool. This is a really nice looking one of the Mailaways, and you can see all this stuff that you can Mailaway for. Reverse side, so you get the, well, it looks like a Stinger, but it's the Vamp 2, right? And then we have smaller vehicles. We've got the Super Trooper, and then more figures driver figures that you could not have gotten any other way if you missed out on the $100 playset. Now we're going to get into Cardbacks. Let's see if we can get some light on this just right. Rock and Roll, Slipstream, Iceberg, not in good a shape. Cobra, Anti-Armor Special, Scrap Iron, Battle Armor, I was going to call him Skeletor, Cobra Commander, the Ranger Stalker. This is an old one. And yeah, it's no cardback to it. I guess the backs of them are important too. Storm Shadow, Flint. Oh, these are, I mixed them in. I got some of these Super 7 ones mixed in. Another Stalker with an actual back to it. So there's two different types of Stalkers. Lifeline. And Vamp Mark II Driver. This is Clutch. Clutch as a... Okay, Baroness. Get to see the back of Baroness. And then Counterpose with Scarlet. the back of Scarlet. This is why I don't like file cards. It encourages kids and parents alike to just cut up your card backs. It's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal on vehicles, but if you're going to throw the box out anyway. But maybe some could argue that the package would have gotten thrown away. This was kept because of the file cards. So at least some part of the card back was kept. There's two sides to that argument, but I feel like there's less full card backs in existence. Oh, that was Xandar. Let's quick kick. And Bats, B-A-T-S, Battle Android Troopers. Oh, there's the back of that. But yeah, it destroys card backs. But then again, how many would have just been tossed? And then the kids cut out or boxes that would have been tossed. And they cut out their file card to keep them. There's even a place to store it in the Joe headquarters. There's underneath one of the service bays. Medic dock. Back. That would have been a really good card back had they kept it. Mainframe. Looking pretty good. We've got the fridge. People talk about this red. They want the red backing. That's a big deal in card back collectors. Mauler. Bat. MBT, not bat. Heavy metal. So we've got Ace, which was just cut out of the box of the Sky Striker. Masters of Disguise. Now this one is not the schizophrenia one. So we have one of those. Alright, Torpedo. And there's his card back. Flint. His card back. Gung Ho. With his card back. Watermarks. Copperhead. I always thought Copperhead, in my mind, I always looked at him as if he was a Dreadnought. I don't know where I got that from as a kid, but it still sticks with me today. I feel like he should be a Dreadnought. Good. Storm Shadow. My favorite G.I. Joe toy line character figure. Conflicted. He's very conflicted. Honor. You know, it's one of those things you don't expect bad guys. Another Ace. How you got two Sky Strikers, buddy? Bridge Layer and Televiper card back. This is the cutter from the whale and just blank on the back. Dreadnought, Buzzer, and that would have been a really, really nice card back. Had it been safe. Cobra Commander. You get some, oh yeah, I got a Cobra Commander one, and it's all janky. But it's better than nothing, I guess. Crimson Guard Commander. This is from that 2-pack. The way they have the 2-pack in there. Thunder from his vehicle. And then Grunt. See, these are really old ones. You can tell that they've been through a lot. This is the AVAC driver. Pilot. But from Terradrome. All right, this is the card back everybody likes to see, the Extreme Paranoid Schizophrenic, and how to get revised off of there. Heavy Metal and Snake Eyes version 2, which would have been a nice card back too. Pretty decent card back. Mainframe in a baggie for some reason. Not sure why. And we got Crimson Guard. There's this picture. One of my favorites. The Viper is one of my favorites as a kid. I actually liked it more than the Trooper. I thought the Trooper was kind of plain. And Vipers were my thing. And it is... Some of these got wet and stuck together. So, we'll move on. Cobra Saboteur Firefly. Wild Bill. I should probably go through and put these in chronological order. Grand Slam. Crankcase. So both of them. Shark Driver. All these are drivers. Dow's Deep 6. Wild Weasel. Rough card. We got Destro. And Alpine. And I think I could make this a whole lot faster for myself too. I get to see the front and the back at the same time. This is Mean Dog, Wild Card. Mean Dog Driver. Interrogator. The Interrogator. Battlecopter Pilot. Fun stuff. I actually think I have the box to that. Tunnel Rat. Then Rock and Roll version 1. And then Wild Bill again. Low Light. Because I'm low light. I actually kept the top 2 on them. That's kind of cool. Then we've got Psych Out. And another Cobra Commander for some reason. Hit and Run. I recently picked a Hit and Run up. Crazy Legs. Jumps. Shipwreck. Everyone's favorite Shipwreck. Which actually is pretty good. Back. Crimson Guard Immortal. Beachhead. Snake Eyes. And the Cobra Bat, which this, I guess at this point he was just cutting the card in half and just being like, cool, keep half the card. That's kind of cool. Airtight, Hostile Environment. We got another cutter. How does he have so many file cards? I don't get it. Dreadnought Buzzer, Dusty, and then Duke. Man. What a chop job on Duke. And another Buzzer. And another Major Blood. And another Major Blood. So I don't get it. But man, look at this. This is a clean cut. Really nice look on Spirit. Spirit Iron Knife. There is Stun Pilot. We got a Rattler. Pilot, Wild Weasel. Snake Eyes version 2. Serpentor. Another Viper. Another Viper. Crankcase. Another Copperhead. Another Storm Shadow. I know some of these I had actually just mixed in with ones I picked up from other collections. So it's some Lift Ticket. Lift Ticket for the Tomahawk. I love Tomahawk. Cobra Eel. Televiper. Cool stuff. Thunder again. And another Dusty. Getting close to the end. Sci-Fi. And then we got Scrap Iron. Cobra Commander. Hooded Cobra Commander. Roadblock. One of my favorite characters. Another Snow Serpent. Another Eel. Another Lifeline. Destro. One of his originals. Stun Pilot. The Jinx. Jinx is a different Sneak Peek. Haven't seen a Sneak Peek. You got another Motor Viper. Bats. Snake Eyes version 2. Another Storm Shadow. So, some of this has to be me mixing it in because I'm a Storm Shadow nut. Budo. That's one we haven't seen yet. It's version 3 Snake Eyes. And then Slipstream. So now to get into Cardbacks. This is probably the closest I'm ever going to get to getting sealed versions of, especially these older ones. But I do want to point out, I'm not going to show the backs of every one of them, but I do want to show that this is one of the best cross-sells in the history of toy lines. Star Wars showed one picture of all the figures accumulatively. This was kind of a rolling movement of characters, and it wasn't so much just what was in this line, but picked up where they left off, it seemed like. But they had animated this picture was in each one and not the actual figure, so that was kind of cool too. So anyway, let's get on to Snow Job. Pretty nice card back he's got here on Snow Job. Lady J. Some of these ones were already ones that we've had in the background chilling there for a bit, but nice Lady J card overall. Then we have a Rock Viper just randomly mixed in. I don't have in chronological order, so that is what it is. Then we have Mutton Junkyard, the dog handler. And pretty good. That's got some rips on it, but I remember getting my Mindbender, and it's one of those that at first I just like, I don't know if I'd like the character or the figure, but I loved that figure back in the day. It was just weird and different, and he was proud of his abs. There is it Psych Out? Psych Out. Falcon, pretty decent card. So one of the things I've seen people get some bubbles that are made for Joes, and there's like 3 different versions of the bubble that closely related to this, so you can recard them using your vintage ones. And I'm not sure what that says, so I don't want to expose the world to it. Spirit, one of my favorites, going up against my absolute favorite, Storm Shadow. That was really the Storm Shadow foe. And here we go with Zarana. Loving me some good old Joes. Dreadnoks, actually. Quick Kick, another one I like. I mean, the martial arts. This is when they did the martial arts right for G.I. Joe. I don't think that they did it right when they did the Ninja Force. But I'll be showing those here in a bit. Here is Storm Shadow version 2, which I still have carded. I have that one carded. Wetsuit. So it's so cool to get the artwork on this. Because I mean, I know getting like a vintage wetsuit sealed was at $300, $500 or something. So just having a cardback's fine for me. This one, the barbecue. This is another one. I mean, this, you're getting back this far back, they start getting expensive. Obviously, the original 13 would be stupid expensive each. But I wouldn't get the same kick out of those as I would out of some 84s through 86 Joes. Astro Viper. Another cool one. Another one I had as a kid. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Cobra Communications Televiper. This is a pretty decent card back. Worthy of being recarded. Let's see. Bazooka. Now this is a little bit more rough. But I could live with it. This one here is this top side. And then, so these are some of the later Joes. This is Captain Gridiron, or yeah, Captain. And then I think this is a Flak Viper. Let's see if I'm right. No, it's Firefly. Firefly. Oh, okay. Now I'm disappointed in this. This is, I'm glad I have it, but wow, it's in rough shape. Still nice. The artwork's mostly there. And maybe I'll find that flag point and get his picture back. Now this is a pretty clean version of Shipwreck. I'm losing it for a second there. Shipwreck. Duke. Man, if only Duke didn't have that taken out of it. Still, it's the art's all there. Pretty nice. Circus World. We've got a Dusty that's not bad. Not bad card. I'm pretty pleased with that one. And then we got Roadblock. The whole top's missing. Almost want to cut the top off another figure that's got the same cross cell. Because Roadblock's that important. Ripcord. See, this is why I don't like these. Because people cut these out. We have less and less cardbacks in existence. You'll see file cards a lot, but not the cardbacks all the time. So this here somehow got ripped up. Can be put back down though. The Recondo. The Bats. B-A-T-S. Loving the good old Bats. This is an Alley Viper. It's a version 2, I think. Buzzer. There's so many buzzers. I don't have a torch. I was looking through that last night. I don't have a torch. Ripper. Voltar. This one is one of the figures my mom bought and put on one of my birthday cakes. So there was him, and there was another one that she put on a birthday cake. So it's always going to be burned in my Flak Viper there. Then we have Lightfoot. Not a great card back, but still a card back. Iron Grenadier was a pretty good card back. And then Annihilator. So there it goes. It's all the card backs. Quick collection display update on this, going shaky cam, but yeah, it's a bit of a challenge getting all these completed. But even if you've had them for years, you're like, I didn't even know that was an accessory it needed. That's the wrong color accessory. Which, in many cases, I'm okay with the accessory pack one. Needs a visor, needs a microphone, needs a headpiece. I mean, there's just so many little parts and pieces. That's the wrong helmet. Some of the helmets, the colors are close. I'll live with it. Some of them just are so unique to the figure, you have to get it. But then I'm going to go where no man has gone before. 90s Joes. It's not all going to fit on here. But we also have Cobras. Get a little bit of classified going on over here. Because, I mean, Super 7 Ultimates classified. Kind of working into the display. Crimson Guards have their own section. And then moving it on along over here. This is literally, I just kind of, as I make sure it's complete, toss it on the shelf. And then I work my way into the Joe stuff. I am going to do all of the same stuff I'm doing now with Cobra when I find the time. But the problem is Cobra has a lot more troop building to it, how to display that properly and adequately. So I'm not to that yet, because still have a lot of Joe piecing together going on. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this quick look at a lot of paperwork from back in the 80s G.I. Joe line. It was kind of fun, and it brings back a lot of memories. I know I looked at a lot of these brochures for hours as a kid, and as an adult looking back, it was really fun that they offered some of these things as Mailaways years later so that you can catch up, and that was kind of cool. It was kind of fun. And the file card situation, well, I'm curious what you guys think on my take on file cards, but let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Hanger out.